In the heart of New York, beneath the shimmering glow of city lights, two unstoppable forces were about to collide. One, a brilliant mind in a spider's suit, quick-witted and agile. The other, a cosmic powerhouse fueled by the energy of the universe itself. A battle for survival, not just of strength, but of endurance, of will. Spider-Man, ever the underdog, was about to face the challenge of his life. But in the end, would even his resilience be enough to stand against the might of Captain Marvel? The city held its breath, for this was not just a fight for victory. It was a fight for identity, heart, and the very soul of what it means to be a hero. The city was alive with its usual rhythm, unaware of the cosmic storm about to hit. New York, a city of dreams and dangers, always seemed ready for the unexpected. Spider-Man, perched on a rooftop, was used to the chaos that defined his life. Tonight was no different. The familiar hum of the city below kept him alert, but something was off. His spider sense buzzed faintly, a whisper in the back of his mind. Something big was coming. With a swift flick of his wrist, he fired a web into the night and swung gracefully through the air. His sharp eyes scanned the skyline, trying to pinpoint the source of the strange energy he felt. As he moved between the buildings, he saw it, a flash of light so bright, it burned into his retinas. It was coming from above, somewhere high in the sky. Spider-Man's instincts kicked in, his heart racing as he accelerated toward the disturbance. Suddenly, a burst of cosmic energy ripped through the air, sending shockwave that rattled the windows of nearby buildings. Spider-Man barely managed to twist his body in midair, using his webbing to catch onto a flagpole. He steadied himself, watching in awe as the skies seemed to open up, crackling with celestial power. His spider sense went wild, screaming at him that he was no longer dealing with ordinary criminals. This was something much bigger. And then she appeared, flying through the rip in the sky like a living comet. She descended with incredible speed. A flash of gold and light, glowing eyes, and a power that made Spider-Man's heart skip a beat. She landed with a force that shook the ground beneath him. The woman, no, the force of nature, was Captain Marvel. Spider-Man's mind raced, trying to process what was happening. A cosmic hero, an Avenger, had just appeared in his city. This was beyond anything he had dealt with before. But his resolve never wavered. He wasn't about to let someone, even someone as powerful as her, tear apart his city. He swung towards her, hoping to surprise her with his usual acrobatics. But Captain Marvel was no ordinary opponent. She raised her hand and fired a concentrated photon blast. The beam was so bright, Spider-Man almost couldn't track it. He swung left, barely avoiding the blast that tore through the side of a building, crumbling the concrete and sending debris flying in all directions. Spider-Man landed with a roll, flipping back to his feet in an instant. He was fast, but she was faster. The air shimmered with energy as Captain Marvel hovered above him, eyes glowing. She was a warrior, trained and seasoned, and her power came from the very cosmos itself. Spider-Man could feel it. This wasn't just about strength. This was a battle of wills. She charged again, her fist glowing with energy. Spider-Man dodged and leapt, trying to use the environment to his advantage. His web snapped through the air, but she easily dodged or absorbed them. This was a battle of tactics now, not just physical strength. He had to think. He had to survive. With a surge of speed, Spider-Man dashed to the side, launching webs in rapid succession. His goal wasn't to trap her, but to disorient her, to make her think he was in one place when he was really somewhere else. The problem was, Captain Marvel was no ordinary foe. Her senses were sharp, honed by years of cosmic battles. She sensed his every move. She fired another photon blast, this one cutting across the sky like a blade. Spider-Man leapt at an impossible angle, webs trailing behind him as he swung just out of reach of the attack. The shockwave from the blast sent a building's windows shattering in every direction. "This is pointless, Spider-Man." Captain Marvel's voice echoed through the chaos, her tone calm, almost sad. "You can't win." Spider-Man landed lightly on a nearby building, his heart pounding. He was battered. His suit was beginning to tear, but his determination was unwavering. He had never been one to give up, not even when facing impossible odds. His mind worked furiously, analyzing her attacks, trying to find a way in. He had to make her feel off balance, make her think she had control before he struck. He webbed a nearby dumpster and swung it in her direction, using it as a distraction. But she saw it coming and effortlessly dodged, her speed almost inhuman. Spider-Man realized then that his usual tricks wouldn't work. He would have to outthink her. He fired a web, not at her, but at a nearby power grid. The electric cable snapped under pressure, sending sparks flying. Spider-Man grinned. It wasn't much, but he was betting she wouldn't expect an electrical hazard in the midst of their battle. He pulled back, preparing for the next phase of his plan, but Captain Marvel wasn't giving him the chance. She zoomed forward, her hand glowing with enough energy to level an entire city block. Spider-Man barely managed to dodge, his web snapping just in time to shield him from the worst of the blast. The battle continued with unrelenting intensity. Spider-Man moved faster, thinking quicker, but Captain Marvel was always one step ahead. She had the power, the experience, and the unshakable confidence of someone who had faced gods and monsters alike. She wasn't just stronger, she was a force of nature. Spider-Man's mind raced. He had to adapt. He couldn't keep playing catch-up. He had to figure out how to exploit her weaknesses. But what weakness did a cosmic hero like her have? And then it hit him. Captain Marvel's power was immense, but it was also finite. She had limits. Energy needed to be recharged, and while she could absorb some of it, even she couldn't keep going indefinitely without exhausting herself. Spider-Man started to think not in terms of combat, but in terms of endurance. He had fought in long battles before. He knew how to wear down his opponents, how to make them make mistakes. Captain Marvel's overconfidence might be her undoing. Using every scrap of energy left, Spider-Man launched a barrage of webbing. His aim was simple: keep her busy, make her chase him. He swung through the city at breakneck speed, twisting and turning through the streets, making sure she followed. He used his environment, walls, rooftops, alleyways, to stay one step ahead. His webs became tools of distraction, leading her in circles, tiring her out. Captain Marvel began to falter. She couldn't land a direct hit. Her energy reserves were being depleted faster than she anticipated, and the chase, though swift, was taking its toll. Spider-Man pressed on, never giving her a moment's peace, forcing her to chase, to fight, to burn more energy than she intended. The city around them was a blur, a collection of buildings, streets, and lights that seemed distant in the face of the battle unfolding above them. Spider-Man's mind raced with strategies. His body screamed for rest, but he refused to give in. Every moment was an opportunity. Every dodge, every twist, every maneuver was a chance to wear her down. Captain Marvel, exhausted, finally landed on a rooftop, breathing heavily, her cosmic energy flickering in and out. Spider-Man had done it. He had pushed her to the edge of her endurance. "You're strong, Spider-Man," she said, her voice tinged with admiration and respect. "But you don't know when to quit." Spider-Man's response was simple: "Neither do you." With that, he launched himself at her, one final attack. The city seemed to pause, the air thick with tension as the two clashed again, this time with every ounce of power they had left. But Captain Marvel had one final surge of energy. With a single pulse of photon power, she struck Spider-Man with a force that sent him flying through several buildings, the impact rattling his bones. She landed beside him, standing over him as he lay broken, his suit torn and his body battered. "I told you it was pointless," she said softly, but there was no malice in her voice. She didn't relish the victory. She only respected his will. Spider-Man, barely conscious, smiled. "Yeah, but you're not bad yourself." In the end, Captain Marvel was victorious, but she knew this battle had been won through more than just power. It was about resilience, endurance, and the heart of a hero who refused to quit. As Spider-Man lay there, unconscious but alive, she hovered above him, contemplating the fight. He had proven something, that even against overwhelming odds, even against a force as powerful as her, there was always a chance to win. It was a lesson she would carry with her, always. With a final glance at the fallen hero, Captain Marvel flew into the night, her mission complete, but her respect for Spider-Man's spirit and his fight never wavering.